Welcome to Perimenopause Hell. This video discusses diet, specifically weight gain in perimenopause. Now, we really can't help this, and I'll tell you why. As you age, your metabolism decreases. And metabolism is what burns all your calories. So you don't burn as many calories as you used to, and you don't need to consume as many calories in order to keep yourself going. But most people continue to eat the same amount as they ever did. So that's one problem. The other problem for women is that as our bodies and our ovaries stop producing estrogen, we rely on other processes in the body to produce estrogen. Our adrenal glands produce a bit, but also something called adipose fat produces a bit of estrogen too. Not very much, but particularly the adipose fat around your stomach, which is what tends to make us put on weight around our stomachs. So basically, because your adipose fat is producing a bit of estrogen, your body says, oh, let's hang on to that lovely, lovely fat because it's making some of that estrogen, which I'm really craving because my ovaries have stopped making it. So that, my friends, is why it's so very difficult to lose weight at this time in life. And unfortunately, many of you are of the opinion that you should just do whatever it takes to lose the weight. But this is a really bad plan. And I'll tell you why it's a really bad plan. It's because of fad diets. And many of you just will not see that it's a really bad thing to do because you're so desperate to lose weight. But you're not 20 anymore. You're in your 40s. And if you're anything like me, you're a couch potato. And perhaps you've even already got some chronic illnesses, but likely you're going to find out that you've got a few more if you start on a fad diet. Right, so let's look at keto first, and I will put these articles in the description box underneath so you can read them for yourself. So, number 1, serious muscle loss is a possible side effect of keto. Keto, as you all know, is where you eat hardly any carbohydrates and really just proteins and vegetables, etc. Now, muscle loss during menopause is a really bad plan because actually your muscle mass decreases. So you're going to end up with more bingo wings from doing this unless you are working out. What we advise that you do is actually replace some of your cardio workouts with weightlifting instead because of the loss of muscle mass in menopause. Keto can put stress on the kidneys and possibly give you kidney stones. And actually, it does make your blood more acidic. And that will also increase bladder irritation for those of you that get that and make your urination more frequent. The possibility of low blood sugar can make keto risky for people with diabetes. So either if you already have diabetes or you've got pre-diabetes, then this is not really a very good diet for you because it doesn't keep your blood sugar stable. But also, if you don't know that you've got diabetes and you're pre-diabetic, this may be a very good way to find out because you're suddenly going to get hypos. Because it's hard to follow, keto can lead to yo-yo dieting. So you do the keto diet for a while, you lose some weight, and then you put it back on again. It's not a good diet to stick to, and so it makes it hard to do, and you don't want to keep up with it. So you have times when you do it and times that you don't, which means your weight is also yo-yoing up and down. Keto can lead to dehydration and loss of electrolytes. Keto severely limits carbs and you may develop nutrient deficiencies. It says here that fiber consumption tends to be too low and you are likely to develop deficiencies in potassium. Bowel problems such as constipation are also common in keto. That's because with carbohydrates, you're getting a lot of sources of fiber from carbohydrates. And also, this is not very good for your microbiome, which is all the different friendly bacteria that you have in your intestines. As your body adjusts to ketosis, you'll probably have bad breath. Your period on keto might undergo some changes. Periods may become irregular or completely stop on the keto diet, says Yowitz. This is more due to rapid weight loss than the diet itself. There's all sorts here. Keto may lead to high cholesterol and an increased risk for heart disease. Now, the thing about keto as well is that unless you've got quite a bit of money in the bank, you're not going to be eating the best kind of meats. So if you're stuffing your face with bacon, that's a lot of fat and it's very bad for your cholesterol. And this is another reason why at our time of life it's not good, because cholesterol increases anyway as you age. So keto in particular is not a good diet for the older person. It really isn't. But of course, if you are fairly healthy to begin with, perhaps it's not a bad idea. It does work to lose weight, I believe, but it's not really very healthy for your body in many ways, as we've just read. What else can I say about it? There are a lot of diets that are low in carbohydrates, but they replace the carbohydrates that are in the diet with ones that take longer for your metabolism to burn. These are called glycemic index diets, and this is it's similar to keto, but it keeps your blood sugar steadier. And these are the type of diets that are better for you. So that's why we advise in the group that we don't think people should do keto or intermittent fasting. We think glycemic index diets are much healthier. And in fact, they are recommended for type 2 diabetes and polycystic ovarian syndrome. So, looking at intermittent fasting, an article about that, I'll also put the link to it in the description. So, feeling hangry, as in it puts you in a bad and grumpy mood, combined with your menopausal symptoms and your hormones making you feel angry and bad tempered, perhaps is just really not a good idea. Can make you feel tired and give you brain fog. The restrictions on the type of food and the rigidity of fasting may make you actually develop food obsessions. Low blood sugar. This is one of my biggest worries for women in our group over 40s. That basically a lot of people that have pre-diabetes and those kind of issues, maybe they're insulin resistant, or maybe even they have fatty liver, is that when you suddenly start fasting, you're going to notice that you have attacks of low blood sugar, which are called hypos. So you feel sick and dizzy and headachy and weird. Usually you start to feel pretty hungry as well. So you become aware of what the problem is. But it's not good to get into the type of state where you're feeling ill because your blood sugar's low. Hair loss, that's another symptom. And obviously, a lot of women in the group complain about losing hair anyway due to hormone changes. So you don't want the additional strain that this is going to put on losing your hair. Sudden weight loss, as we just seen before, is not good for your menstrual cycle. Your periods can stop altogether. Constipation. When you're doing these diets, you need to be really certain that you are getting the right amount of nutrients out of what you do eat. If you're doing fasting, then I don't think the aim of that is particularly to deprive yourself of particular foods, but you may find that you're trying to be very strict with the amount of calories you're taking as well as when you eat. So it could be that you just aren't eating a very balanced diet anyway. Sleep disturbances. I think the point of this one is that if you are to try and sleep while you are fasting, then you may be too hungry to be able to sleep. But also that if you develop late night snacking habits, you might not be able to sleep because your body is still basically busy digesting the food that you ate just before you went to bed. In fact, eating late at night isn't supposed to be very good for weight gain anyway. Many dietitians will tell you to stop eating before 6 p.m. and don't eat anything after because your digestion is stronger at that time. We're back on mood changes here. Anyway, I'm sorry to say this, but the way that perimenopausal women can lose weight is the same as it ever was, but the odds are stacked against you. You just have to make sure that you pick a diet that you can actually stick with and is a lifestyle change, not something that you're doing for a few weeks with the aim of getting your beach body back in gear. There's also the idea of acceptance, of accepting that you're getting older and you're not going to look like you looked when you were 20 because you're not 20 anymore. And it's just a fact of life that you have to come to terms with. And in fact, being a little bit larger may be healthier for you. As I already explained at the beginning, your adipose fat does produce a little bit of estrogen for you. And that's healthier for your body than being rake thin. It's better for your bone density too. I'm not going to waffle on at length in this video. It's not a particularly well constructed video. It's really just addressing some of the basic problems with these diets and why we don't recommend them. We don't particularly wish for women to discuss them in the group. It's not a diet group anyway. So if you really want to talk endlessly about diet and so on, really, you should perhaps join a weight loss group on Facebook or something like that. Anyway, as usual, if you found this video interesting or informative, like, subscribe, and all that YouTube jazz. Thanks for watching.